Greetings and salutations, YouTube family and friends. T-Rav Vlogs here. What's up, guys? So with Anime Senpai said and done, I figured this would be a pretty good time to go back, look at the weekend, reflect on it a little bit, talk about some stories, and just kind of give the convention an overall review. They'd been on a hiatus for a year because of all of the craziness going on in the world, as I stated in the previous video. So, how did that affect the convention? Did they lose their groove? Did people just give up on the convention and say, I'll do something else? Or was it a resounding success? Let's talk about it in my official Anime Senpai 2021 Junior Year Review and Con Report. So we got a bit of a late start on Friday due to some last minute con crunch, but let's face it, when is it a con if there's no con crunch? It's gotta happen, right? Also, I would like to take this time to shout out my buddy Bob for making that absolutely fire dirty rice recipe. That was amazing. One of the best meals I had all weekend. I could have eaten that entire pot of rice, and Bob kind of dared me to, but I declined because I knew I needed to walk for the rest of the weekend. So, Bob, awesome stuff. So we got there late afternoon on Friday. We decided that we were going to be celebrating Fursuit Friday. As you saw, I did Jeremiah Seymour. Bob did his Tanuki Girl raccoon outfit, dressed as Alice. He even had a little Cheshire Cat with him. And Brandy decided to show off her Raptor Dragon hybrid accessories that she got from Comic Crazy Studios. So we arrived, got our badges, and one of the first things I noticed was there really weren't a whole lot of people. Like on Friday evening, the convention space was pretty sparse, which was okay because it gave us a lot of room to maneuver in our larger costumes, you know, very accentuated accessories that we had, large tails, large paws. We wanted to make sure we had plenty of room to move around, and it also gave us a good way to get a lay of the land. We could see which rooms were going to be where everything was located, which rooms the con was using, where we couldn't go. It gave us a good opportunity to really get a game plan for the days to come. Now that being said, with a smaller crowd, we still had quite a positive reaction from our costumes. While perusing around the dealer's room, we had a lady ask if her child could take a picture with us. And before I could even really get out an answer, I see this little boy, no taller than my hips, come running at me with his arms outstretched, and he just wraps around my leg and gives me the tightest of hugs, and instantly my heart just melted. This little boy was adorable, the parents were awesome, we got our pictures, and Brandy had her unfoldable wings, which she achieved by hiding a zip cord in her hoodie, so whenever she extended her arms, the wings came out. And when she did this, it absolutely blew the mom's mind. She just, oh my gosh, how in the world did you do that? That is so cool. So overall, resounding success as far as the reactions go from the general public there, or rather the attendees. They all seemed to love us. We got a lot of pictures. That was really cool. We even got the opportunity to check out the game rooms, the video game room and the board game room for that day. Again, since there was a low crowd, we got the chance to do a lot of things that we wouldn't get to do if there were a lot of people around. Everybody was still wearing masks, but the fact that people were kind of spread out, I think the only conglomeration of people that I really saw in one particular area was during the autograph signings for one of the voice actors. But other than that, lots of room to move around, and it was pretty good on Friday. We didn't really stick around that long, just a couple of hours on Friday. It's really easy to get overheated in those suits, so we decided that it was a good idea to take a break. We'll go get some dinner. We had our mandatory one meal a day at Colton's, which again is always awesome. Then we went perusing around at the Halloween store after the fact. So for Friday, definitely a good start to the convention. From great meals from Bob and Colton's to the wonderful reaction that we got from the public. That was fantastic. Even the folks at Colton's gave us a few sideways glances because we were still kind of wearing our foot paws and tails and stuff. So great conversation starters. They always love us there. So Friday was awesome. On to Saturday, we got to the convention around noon. We were doing the Turks this time. I had Reno, Bob had Rude, and Brandy was Elena. So we decided to go about and see what we could see there. And as a stark contrast from Friday, the crowd definitely showed up on Saturday. There were a lot of people there. This was obviously the day to go to the convention. Now again, everybody was wearing masks, so I definitely felt safe, but there were a few instances, especially in the dealer's hall, where there was a lot of bodies in one area but it was all good. We made it work. Everybody was good sports about it, and I didn't once feel like I was in danger of anything. Of course, I work in retail, so I'm used to crowded spaces all the time, so this was really nothing new for me. The previous evening, we had run into an Aerith who, in my opinion, awesome job, had the flower basket, and on the other side was hiding some candy to do some reverse trick-or-treating. If you stopped and talked to her, she offered you a piece of candy. That was really cool. We told her we were going to be doing the Turks on Saturday, so she decided that she was going to do Aerith again on Saturday so she could run into the Turks, and it would be a whole thing, and it would be pretty awesome. So we made sure to look for her when we got there on Saturday. Not only did we find her, but we also found 2 other Aeriths, and let me just tell you that every Final Fantasy VII cosplayer we found and their posse were wonderful, wonderful people. I talked to the first Aerith in the video game room prior to the cosplay contest for probably a half hour, and by the end of it, my cheeks hurt. I was smiling ear to ear the entire time, didn't stop, and I had not smiled for that long, that big, in a long time, and it felt really good. We ran into another Aerith with a Sid and a Vincent that we came across earlier in the day, and those 3 were a hoot to hang out with. They were a lot of fun, for sure. We ran into them 6 or 7 times, probably more, making jokes about it every time. It took the Turks so long to find Aerith in the video game, and here she was and they were following us around all the time. Wherever we went, they were, and it was pretty funny. And the third Aerith I ran into, just by happenstance, I was walking around after the charity auction, just kind of looking for some friends and whatnot, and I was going out, she was going in. She stopped me and said, "Oh my gosh, I love your Reno." And I said, "Well, you make a mighty fine ancient yourself," which is a lot of times what the Turks refer to Aerith as in the video game. Kind of a little hint to that there. So all of those cosplayers, wonderful people to hang out with, ran into them multiple times, such good sports, and it was a great time. And again, really positive reaction from everybody. Got our pictures taken so many times. That's not the be-all, end-all of why we cosplay, but it is kind of fun to see the positive reaction from others, other fans, other people who are appreciating what you're wearing. And it's good conversation starters. That's how a lot of it starts. You see a cool costume, you talk to them, next thing you know, you're talking to them for half hour, 45 minutes, and you've suddenly made a con friend. It's very cool, so that's why we like to do that. As far as the events go, I checked out the charity auction run by the Fandom Father, and that was a really nice little goings-on over there. There was a lot of cool things that they were auctioning off, from manga to apparel, figurines, plushes, all kinds of knickknacks, and it all went to a good cause. I think it was the Collinsville Food Pantry got all of the proceeds, and I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was $480-something they ended up raising for the food pantry. So Anime Senpai, let's go. Good job, guys. While I was at the charity auction, Bob and Brandy checked out the Caitlin Glass Q&A, which you can watch in its entirety on their channel over there. So just go ahead and click that and you'll go right to that panel in case you missed it and want to find out some interesting stuff. Very honest person, that Caitlin Glass, very genuine, and overall seems like a pretty cool person. And speaking of voice actors, we got to stop and talk to Bryce Pappenbrook for a while at his table, and we had a wonderful conversation with Paul St. John for a while at the end of the evening. That man had some stories, let me tell you, and he was fun to hang out with for a while. The stories that he told had us in stitches. It was great to hear some behind the scenes of the voice actor studio kind of thing like that, and it was really neat. We finished off the night with the cosplay contest, which was absolutely amazing. The costumes were fantastic. The host did a fantastic job, had us in stitches the entire time. The commentary was fantastic. Of course, as you saw in the previous video, Bowser ended up winning Best in Show, which I gushed about that costume almost all day because that thing was fantastic. The amount of effort that went into that costume, crazy stuff, but it was totally worth it. I hope that that particular cosplayer continues to have a bright future. They're already talking about the next project they're going to be doing, so excited to see where that goes. So congratulations to all the winners and all the participants. You did a great job. I had a wonderful time. I was very entertained, and it brought the day that was Saturday to a wonderful close. By the time we started walking out of the convention that night, we didn't really want to leave, but we were exhausted and we knew we still had one more day of the convention to go to, so we decided it was probably a good idea to just say, you know what? let's call it an evening and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll start all over again. Sunday was a bit more of a chill day. We didn't get very many reactions from the costumes, but we knew we weren't going to. Remember I said when I was talking about my newest costume, Othello, that I didn't expect a lot of people to know who I was. And that was exactly how it went. But that's okay because he's still a newer character, only in the manga. Not a lot of people are going to know about him. And Bob and Brandy did the masquerade versions. They're kind of their twist, their take on Ciel and Sebastian with a Halloween kind of get up going on. So again, not a lot of people really got who they were, but it was all good. We knew who we were, and we were having a great time with it, and it just kind of made Sunday a nice, easygoing, final, alright, one last pass around the dealer's hall, one last look at the convention, one final hi and bye to some friends, and then we could finally call the convention weekend a success. And that's pretty much how it went. One last look through everything, one last pass to the dealer's room, one last hi and bye to friends, and, of course, one last meal at Colton's before we decided it was time to bring the weekend to a close and we could say goodbye to Anime Senpai. So, let's talk about a review for the convention. Did Anime Senpai come back strong after their year hiatus? In my personal opinion, yes they did. Though the crowd wasn't so big on Friday, it really ramped up on Saturday, and that crowd spilled over into Sunday as well. So the attendees were ready to come back to a convention, and I think they were all pretty excited that it got to be Anime Senpai. An official statement from Anime Senpai stated that they were down about half of the vendors that they originally had planned because of the craziness still going on, and they were taking a hit on volunteers and staff members because of mandatory work elsewhere due to shortages happening. So down on vendors, down on staff and volunteers, but I didn't feel any of that. I thought the amount of vendors they had for the space they had was pretty much perfect. It's always quality over quantity at Anime Senpai. They never have a gigantic dealer's hall, but the dealers they have always have some really cool stuff. From art prints, to t-shirts, to DVDs and Blu-rays, plushes, figurines, swords, snacks, really cool customized hats. You name it, they had it. Something for any sort of geek fandom or anything like that, it was there. And every time we went into the dealer's hall, we always discovered something new, and nothing about that was bad. So for there being a lack of vendors, I still think it went very well. It was one of my favorite places to spend time at the convention, and I would definitely do it again because there were so many cool things to find there. As far as the shortage of staff and volunteers, every interaction I had with a staff member was fantastic. They were super nice, super welcoming, from the staff members to the attendees to the Gateway Center catering employees. Everybody was so nice there, and it was fantastic. We were walking into the cosplay contest, and you have to show the staff your badges. So we're going through showing off our badges, and Bob, Brandy, and I are going multi-pass from Fifth Element, and pretty sure the doorman just about fell over. He was not expecting that. He was laughing so very hard. So that really made our evenings, the fact that we could spread some laughter there. And we had a good time with it. He had a good time with it. It was all good. Now on Sunday we did share the space, and by share I mean they had the other end of the convention center while we had ours. We're sharing it with a cheerleading competition, I believe it was, and we got some really interesting looks and remarks from the mothers of the cheerleaders there, and we noticed a few instances where the mothers were behaving a bit impatiently towards some of the Gateway Center staff. Not something we like to see, but to everybody at Anime Senpai, y'all put on a clinic as to how you should act towards people in the service industry. If they ran out of French fries, one of the congoers politely came up to the cashier and said, "Excuse me, miss, I just wanted to let you know that you were out of French fries, so you might need to get some more because people are going to want those." And they were so polite about it, so cool about it, and I could tell that the cashier was very appreciative of it as well. Couldn't have been happier with the way that the attendees and the Anime Senpai crew handled that. Give yourselves a round of applause, guys. You did great. So my final thoughts on Anime Senpai 2021 Junior Year. You guys killed it. Great job getting everything together. As far as I saw, there were no snags or snafus as far as programming things went. Everything that you had there, from the video games to the board games, vendors hall, everything was entertaining. Loved the interactions with the people, loved the events that happened. Everything was fantastic. As you could tell in the video, I was gushing all over the place about this convention. I needed it, you guys delivered, and I cannot wait to go back to Anime Senpai senior year. Anime Senpai has always held a place in my heart. We've been with the convention since it was Anime Getaway so long ago. We've watched it grow to a 3-day convention, and I am so excited for the future of this convention to watch it grow even further. So guys, great job on running a wonderful convention. I appreciate it. Bob and Brandy appreciates it. Almost everybody I talk to appreciates it. It was fantastic. Great job. Do I recommend going to Anime Senpai if you haven't already? Absolutely. And if you have and took a break from it, come on back and see what they're doing, because it's pretty good. If I had to pick out a downside to the convention, it was that it was a little difficult for me to reach out to and come in contact with some of the friends I was expecting to see there. A lot of that, I have a feeling, had to do with everybody wearing the masks, because it's a lot more difficult to recognize people if more of themselves are covered. Especially, they're wearing costumes, so you can't pick that out. They're wearing masks, you can't see their face. Don't get me wrong, I was glad that everybody had those masks on and everybody was safe. Just made it a little more difficult to recognize people. So there were some friends I didn't get to see until the tail end of the convention that I had been looking for all weekend, and there were some friends I didn't even know went to the con until I saw their posts about it after the fact. So to anybody that I missed at the convention, I am sincerely sorry, and I apologize for not being able to reach out and come into contact with you. I either didn't see you or didn't realize that you were there, or whatever happens. Excuses, I know, but I am terribly sorry, and I really hope that in the near future we do get to connect and we do get to catch up with each other, because I haven't seen some of you in so long and I miss you guys dearly. And for those that I did see at the convention, they were such a welcome sight, a sight for sore eyes, if you will, and I was so glad to be able to run into them. And to all of the new friends that I made, I will cherish those relationships for a long time to come. So in closing, Anime Senpai was wonderful. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to debut some new costumes, bring back some classics, see what else they're going to be doing, see if they're going to be growing. Hopefully all of the craziness starts to die down and we can bring more things back to normalcy, and we will get back to the normal convention season with a normal convention experience, and we can return ourselves to our regularly scheduled programming. So enough gushing. I had fun. I think you should check out Anime Senpai 2 if you haven't yet, or if you went in the past and decided to give it a break. Definitely check them out. They're good people, and they put on a good con, for sure. But for now, that's really all I have to say about that. So until next time, I'll talk to you soon, and take care. Bye-bye.